You are listening to The Hamster Village, the show about mixed relationships.
The Hamster Village.
The Hamster Village.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Hamster Village, the show about mixed relationships. My name is Nathan Brandon, I'm your host as always, and today we sit down with Brandee and Michael Steger, an interracial couple as well as actors, producers, and writers living in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. Hi.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Hi there. My name is Brandee Steger. I am African American. I'm a female. Yeah, that's it.
And I'm the husband, Michael Steger. I'm all kinds of races, but to break it down simply, my dad's British, my mom's Ecuadorian, so I'm biracial. Yeah.
So we've already heard how the entertainment industry can be tough for interracial couples, especially for whichever spouse is the person of color. Now, I argue, what do we do with that information? As an artist of color and in an interracial relationship myself, I can tell you from experience, there's a few ways you can handle situations like these. Or this is kind of just the way that I've done it. You can get angry and bitter, though that one usually leaves you incapacitated and unable to create further art. You can go against the grain and say you don't need the industry to embrace you, though others will just label you as angry and bitter and attribute whatever kind of hardship they're seeing you face to that. Or you can use the skills that you've learned in your art form to highlight the heart of the issue. In this segment, we talk about how Brandee and Michael decided to take the latter route, creating White Like Me, a feature-length comedy about a struggling black female actress played by Brandee, who decides to see what would happen if she disguised herself as a straight white man in the entertainment industry and become one of the most powerful agents in Hollywood. Here's a clip of the trailer. Brandee's playing both the interviewer and the white show business tycoon, Grayson Rourke.
So, why are you dressed like this?
Because it's a lot easier to get a job in Hollywood if you're a dude. And even easier if you're a white dude.
Do you not think that being a black woman is enough?
Oh, I think being a black woman is more than enough. I love being a black woman. But here's the thing. I grew up watching films where I wanted to be a leading lady like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, or any woman in Sex and the City, or When Harry Met Sally, or even later on, Devil Wears Prada. But do you see the problem there? Black women aren't cast in those roles. I found myself in my 30s unemployed and looking at my options. And then I thought, I don't even want to be famous. I just want to act. I just want to work on my craft. So I did two things. I cast myself in the biggest role of my career, and I became one of the most successful men in Hollywood.
I was super honored to have the opportunity to talk with Brandee and Michael about this project, how it came about, what they hope it accomplishes, and what the rest of us can do to support the film. It's a very powerful discussion about how we as a society consume ideas about race, especially in entertainment, without even knowing it. And we also talk about the tightrope walk of making art with a message. Also, if you're looking for ways to support the film, check out Brandee and Michael's IndieGoGo page. It takes a ton of money to make a project like this and get it off the ground. So all you have to do is just go to IndieGoGo.com, IndieGoGo.com, and search for White Like Me. We'll be sharing the link on our website, our social media pages as well, just in case you have some trouble finding it. Go check it out. It's very, very important. Check out all the incentives that you get for donating and all that good stuff. Some of you don't know this, but my debut album, I Black Out, was only possible through crowdsourcing like this. I recorded my album at times when people thought or told me that making a quality comedy album on my own just wasn't possible. And it was only possible because of people like you that donated and turned that dream into a reality. Actually, that album is the only reason, is a big reason I have a lot of the fans that I have that have stuck with me throughout the years, and is a huge reason why I was able to work with my comedy role model as much as I have. This film is a very big deal and necessary. So if you have some moolah, go to IndieGoGo and check out White Like Me. Take a look at all the incentives, like I said. Even if you don't have money, your word of mouth is very important and very powerful. Somebody out there has money. So help boost the signal so that this film gets to them. Is that cool? All right, here is Brandee and Michael again talking about White Like Me. If you want to tell the audience kind of what the focus of the film and everything, the project.
It's about a black female struggling artist who is she's so frustrated, played by me, with where she is in her career and where she is in her life that she decides to make herself look like a white man to see if things work out differently for her. And that's pretty much the basis of it. And I took a lot of things that, we had experienced together while Michael was on his show or just in our relationship. And being a white man is like the what if. It's like I took those things and it was like, well, what if I had changed it by doing this? And you kind of get to see, it's like my imagination goes wild with that what if.
I see.
So you get to see, well, would it be better? What are the opportunities that would come about? Are there even more opportunities? And it's, I think, really fun. I think from my point of view, it's that I grew up in such a diverse environment with white people, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, that it's very open to, it's not a anti-white movie for sure. It's definitely a movie where you get to see all different points of view in a very fun way.
Yeah. And a comment on society to kind of get people...
Yeah, to get people I miss those old things that used to touch on race and make people laugh, like Archie Bunker. Yeah. So I'm so inspired by that, I'm inspired by we've talked about Eddie Murphy, Whoopi Goldberg, and I think those people were able to show things in a different way, and that is what my goal or our goal is to do.
And I think race in our family and our conversations has become a bit of an obsession. We talk about race a lot.
We do.
And it's almost like to the point of we need to stop talking about race because it's this, we're fascinated with it. I'm even fascinated because it's like coming from a biracial family, some of us connected more with my mom's Hispanic side, the others connected more with my dad's British side. So it's this weird, we're pulling from different sides. Yeah. But what's interesting with Brandee is what I learned is I feel like she was raised almost like you were raised to spot racism. And I think there's a natural instinct where you're able to recognize it and combat it more than, I say, Hispanic or another minority group. And I think you're a lot more aware, educated, because I feel like a lot of other people are unaware.
I think that's
they can't really recognize it.
That's very common, though, I feel like, in the black community. I think, I just from my black girlfriends or guy friends, I think it's almost like for some reason we can kind of sniff it out. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I know from my friends, it's, even when someone's pretending to be kind to you, I can kind of sniff out, oh, there's an issue here, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a lot of our conversation. It's like Michael can't sniff it out, and I'm like, I don't know, something's wrong here.
Has there ever been situations where, I guess kind of both ways. If you're in a situation and one of you notices something or you feel uncomfortable, and the other one doesn't really recognize it?
I think never recognized it.
Michael
my mom
never
was
does.
When I first got my first acting job, people were asking her if she was a citizen. She had her green card.
Oh, yeah.
My mom she went to Hoover High in Glendale.
Yeah.
She was born in Ecuador, but she's from California. Yeah. You wouldn't tell. But she's had racism, but she's always written it off like, oh, it's something else. And I feel like someone like you're kind of like, no, that's what that is.
Because we've had it because Michael was working with an actress on a film, and I felt something wrong about her. I could smell it. I don't know what it was. The look out of the eye. I don't know. I feel like this is, again, something that my conversations with black women or black men, you just know. And time went on, and I said it to Michael, and he was kind of like, I don't know, Brandee. It can't always be about race, which is totally understandable, and I tried to open myself up to as well. But, to saying, maybe I am over, too much race. And then later on, as time went by, Michael shooting with her, I'm here in L.A., and she pops the N-word to him. She sees a black guy who's down and out or struggling or whatever, and she says a comment like, now that's a N-word to him, knowing that he has a black wife. I mean, it's such a odd thing to say anyway, but to say to someone who has a black wife, there's such a weird thing with that. I think like a weird intention, or I don't know what was happening there, but for me that was a big eye opener for both of us. I think
because I dismissed it at the time because it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I didn't wanna,
of course.
I don't know what her motive was, so I kept it in for a few years, and then I told you.
And then you
I was
told
like,
me.
wait, that must be wrong.
Yeah,
that's wrong. Yeah.
Later, as time went on, and I was just like, oh, I knew it. This is why I didn't want to have any conversation with this person. Like, I don't know what it was, but I could smell it off this person.
Yeah. Does it kind of not put a strain on your relationship, like when things like that happen, but is it kind of hard to talk to each other about it, like in the moment, or I
think it used to be.
I think it for me it was because I almost didn't want to prove her right.
Oh,
so that's why I didn't tell her in a sense, because she probably had that natural instinct about this person.
I was like Barbara Streisand in The Way We Were, where I over.
Yeah, and so I'm like,
I
think I recognized the situation as bad, and I didn't want to tell her to get her pissed off because I had to be around these people to promote the movie, and
so it's
tough.
like
it's tricky, right?
Because you have so
get
much
her
work
upset while I'm doing this tour.
It's a whole baggage, and I think we just learned to work with it.
It's because most couples too that I pose that question to, or that they tell me about situations, it's like going to a restaurant or something like that, where it's like, oh yeah, we can leave the restaurant, but with work,
working.
And when your career is on the line, that's a really
it's a different
tightrope,
right? And especially when this person has a career, they do well, they work with black artist in the entertainment, like you're watching that and you're dealing with what secretly. It's a lot, I think, but I think conversation is like the key to everything. We're great at we've gotten better at
funny
it,
thing.
communicating.
It's just like, oh no, they didn't say that. They didn't say that. I made that up in my mind. Like that didn't happen. Wait a second.
Replay it
Comments
again.
like that are like, who says? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not used to I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, it's a tricky.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think that was the weirdest, or the closest to home. I think that was.
Yeah.
Because where somebody proved themselves. I think, not often, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know about that one. But in this situation, it was like, whoa, and she proved it. And for me,
tough.
I don't want to be right. I don't want to be. Right? I want him to be walking with this person and her be like, look at that beautiful black woman, or look at that handsome black man. I don't know, but it wasn't that way.
Well, and then also too, I mean, not that the stakes are high, but like the from your experience of being around the rest of the country, like this is a place where it's like you got to hold on to it. It's a what were we saying earlier, a bastion of acceptance, as far as different backgrounds and stuff. And when that stuff kind of seeps in, it's just kind of, oh no.
Yeah. Like you wish you had a video. I'm sure, I mean, I don't know if Michael does, but it's like a video. I mean, not really. I wouldn't even want to expose whatever,
Have you gotten any kind of backlash from about the project? You were saying like it's not an anti-white, but people always, they take it however, especially with art,
Yeah, with art, I know Michael reached out to a friend who he used to work with, who felt like it was divisive without reading the script, without, he just felt like the concept was divisive, which is hurtful, because in no way, I think is that an intention of either of us. And anybody who knows us knows that that is not the intention in this project. And then immediately when the project came out, I think that somebody wrote me and said, "Are you a racist? What happened to you? Did a white person hurt you?"
Wow.
And then a friend from high
No,
school
they didn't even
wrote,
ask me. They said, "You're a racist," which is very new for me because I've never been called a racist. But hey,
someone from high school reached out and was like, "How is this
Oh, that's
okay
right.
going into whiteface?"
that's right.
Oh, I see.
But it's confusing
angle,
because
then.
I mean Robert Downey Jr. just went into blackface and he was nominated for an Oscar, won the
Yeah.
Oscar,
Yeah.
and people are writing him off. Well, he was delusional. That's why he went into blackface. But
Yeah.
no, he still tried it out, and I think because he was a man, everyone was like, I guess he gets the pass. But because Brandee's a woman,
Oh, interesting.
I
didn't
think
even
it's
think of
like
that.
it's more powerful.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we're getting more of a response. And I don't understand how so many people can pretend like people have been doing blackface for so many
for
years.
years. Well, in this,
And this is
I
just-
feel like it's not that. You know, it's this person. It's not this person going into the world as a white man and making fun of white people. It's this person honestly saying, which I think could happen, what would happen if I went into the world as a white man? Would it be different for me?
It's like it's a kind of like a critical piece of the puzzle to document or expose the underlying system in
Absolutely.
entertainment, rather than kind of like, hey, there's a white guy, you know?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, exactly. It's not
It's
like I'm
like
like shuffling around like I'm white. It's not that at all.
Yeah.
So that's a little frustrating for me. And also, like, I feel like I would say to anybody, I wish that a white person would do a film like this and experience what it's honestly like to be a black man. You know, like the actress
yeah.
I just mentioned who made that comment. Like, the opposite of this, I would love to see. I would love to see a white actress honestly play a black man and experience and think about what that could possibly be like.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Especially, I mean, with the entertainment too, it's so much the appearance of things, like the overall outward.
It's the outward appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what would it be like if a white actress went in a room as a black woman? How would things change for her?
Yeah.
Well, you know? She
And I
would
guess
get to see that.
Yeah, and also the motivations too behind it. So like when people accuse you of blackface, like in the past, those were far more malicious. There were
Absolutely.
malicious motivations in the sense of dehumanizing someone or breaking down a whole group,
Yeah.
rather than saying,
This is an experience.
"Yeah,
or-
I want to see." It's almost like it's an academic research.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. When I first started
That's more
writing
like
it, I
it.
thought that. I was like, I should write this as if I'm writing like an essay.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Because I have some friends that just won't respond to me at all because of this.
really.
And I mean, like, they're really good friends. And some are like, send me your IndieGoGo campaign. I want to check it out. I want to see the layout. This is amazing. And I'll write them, and and I get like nothing in response.
Oh man.
And it's like, first of all, these people are actors. They know art is controversial. Art's supposed to have a little controversy, or else, you know, why would you watch the film?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
to not acknowledge and to make it about, you know, to make it about how offended you are, and that's why you can't respond, is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
And I feel like the fragility of that is kind of like the problem, because, I mean, everyone should be able to talk about race openly.
Yeah.
And if anything, ask questions like, do you experience racism in your life? No one's ever asked me that. No one's curious.
Oh.
Everyone makes observations and they come up with their conclusions on their own.
As opposed to opening up and seeing how
no
other
one,
people
no one
feel.
asks like, so have you experienced racism? Does, you know, did such and such happen to you? Never get a question.
Wow.
It's, yeah.
So I guess kind of a twofold question. I've noticed just from doing stand up and things like that. I'm not an actor by any means.
Yeah.
I try, but I'm not. But social capital down here, people like to say, you know, politics and stuff like that. That plays into a lot of stuff too. Did that? How did that kind of factor into your decision to go forward with the project? Did you kind of anticipate like people kind of not wanting to comment or speak to you afterward You know,
Well, I think what motivated this whole film, I mean, it started to happen by itself. People read the script and were like, "This has to be made."
yeah.
And then it came.
And
to
people
the
of
makeup
all
designer
colors
was
read
like
the script.
Beyond overwhelmed and stimulated, she wanted to be a part of this process. We had the most amazing makeup artist, and so things were just happening. And then more people read the script. This has to be made. This has to be made. So we've had more positive response.
Absolutely.
To this. It's just that the negative kind
Yeah.
of sticks out a little bit more, and we want to talk
And
about
positive response, like culturally, like from different
every
races,
race,
everybody,
people love
and politically. I have to say that, like, there are people on that right side who are like, "This is so great," and I have to be open to, like, that's amazing, right? Like, those people, we have to acknowledge those people who will open up their eyes and say, "Hey, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, let's check this out. Let's see what this is." And we've had great response in that way.
Phenomenal response.
Yeah.
Yeah. The campaign's doing great. People love it. People that see the trailer love it. It's just the one.
reminds them
It's
of
just
Tootsie
awkward
and-
when someone doesn't
It's
write
fantastic.
back. Like,
Yeah,
we
that's-
know it's
awkward.
good, so just say something like "nice try" or "cool makeup."
So it's
I know.
I don't know, something.
It's hurtful. It's been hurtful as well, but I think that's natural being artists.
yeah.
People will hurt you because
Well, when they make it about
whatever.
something, it's not. That's
exactly.
I think
That's the thing.
the frustrating.
They don't want to take your art. They want to put their own interpretation on your art, and
before
then
they've even
Yeah.
Really seen.
I get that.
They're just like, I'm so far up the angry ladder that I will not look at anything.
As a comedian, I totally
Oh, you
understand
told-
that.
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like for every kind of negative reaction, you get like all this other like,
Yeah.
even more so that they enjoy it or they like it, that people feel it's a necessary
Yeah.
deal. I think it's the real important. I think. Well, I mean, it's all important, but like for people to be like, yes, this has to be made. Like you were saying, it's super important.
Yeah, I can't believe the momentum we're building because people really do love it. And it's like, okay, we got to find those people. Those people that are like donating and loving it. Like, how do we find more of them?
Yeah.
Because it's a funny thing. It's like putting this out there. It's been a vulnerable experience, and everybody that knows, anyone that's been a part of a movie knows that it's really hard to make.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for it. I'm super excited.
That's so cool.
All right, guys, that does it for this episode of The Hamster Village. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen. I want to thank Brandee and Michael for taking the time to sit down with me and talk about their lives. And even more than that, taking the time to talk to me about their new project, White Like Me. If you want to check out more info about the film, go to IndieGoGo right now. IndieGoGo.com and type in White Like Me or /projects/white-like-me. The deadline for the White Like Me is September 17th. September 17th. So don't wait. Go there now. Tell your friends. Make a donation. Let's make sure that this film gets made. Is that cool? If you have any questions or comments, you can always find us at thehamstervillage.com. We have a contact page there, or our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, all that. Or find me, I'm at nathanbrandon.com. There's a contact page there. Or my social media pages, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff as well. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, you need to go ahead and do that. We're on all the different platforms, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, all that. Make sure whatever one you use to subscribe to the podcast. We're doing some great stuff. Is that cool? All right, this has been another episode of The Hamster Village. My name is Nathan Brandon. We will catch you on the next one.